Hello teachers, it is me again. My name is Betsy, and today I will be training you on how to transit children here at StartRight. Transiting children is a very important process. We have many inquiries lately and we will be receiving more kids in our care. So, we want every one of you to be experts in transiting new children, because there are strategies and methods to how to transit children in the center, because we want to make StartRight a happy place, not a stressful place. So it all lays in your hands. Alright, so transiting new children is a very important process because it determines the children's level of comfort. The more comfortable they are, the more they can enjoy the activities that you have planned for them. The more that they can relax and just enjoy coming to school and being happy about coming to school. When you think about transiting children, you are basically managing stress and expectation. Can you imagine going to a different country all by yourself, not knowing anybody? It's very, very stressful and a scary thought. For a child, that's how it feels like going to a new childcare or preschool, because it's the first time leaving their comfort and the very thing that they know. And this is, you're going to a place that you don't know, and suddenly you have to trust strangers around you. So, how do we help these children manage their stress and also to reduce separation anxiety? It's a real thing. Alright? But what if I tell you, when you go to a new country, there you will meet a friend, and the friend is going to take care of you, going to feed you, going to show you around, to show you new places and fun things to do? Then it wouldn't be so stressful, right? So let's keep this in mind, and we try to apply it in transiting new children here at StartRight. In this video, we will be covering a role of a designated teacher, and 3 stages of transition, and what to do and what not to do during transition days. What we do here in StartRight is different. It is research-based. We want to make sure that the transition is smooth like butter. Everything we do here is to reduce separation anxiety. Everyone has separation anxiety. It varies from one person to another person. Doesn't matter if you're a child or you are an adult. Separation anxiety exists. But it depends on temperament and personality of the child or the person. The first thing you need to know about transiting children is that they first adapt to the environment. They adapt first to the environment, the toys, the equipments. Then they adapt to the adults, because they need the adults. They need their food, they need love, they need comfort, they need their drink, their milk. Alright, they need the adults. And the last thing that they would need to adapt to are friends. So whenever you transit children in the center, you don't have to say, let's make friends. Because the idea of friends only happens at age 3 and onwards. The whole idea and the concept of friendship is not established yet between ages 0 to 3. Some may be 4. So it really varies from child to child, but the last thing you want is go play with friends. Maybe what you want to say is, let's go play something fun. Alright, so remember, environment, then the adults, then only friends. Alright, so if they are older, let's say in the preschool age, then maybe friends will make sense. So whenever we have a new child coming into the center, there must be a designated teacher. Designated teacher. That means one particular teacher. Let's call it the teacher for short. Alright, so the teacher. The teacher needs to work on transiting the child and parents. Everyone at StartRight will be a designated teacher, will be a D teacher at some point. Okay, so pay attention. Please write notes because we want to do the same thing. Everybody do the same thing, and so that we have a style, we have a method. And this is something that I have done personally when I'm there as well. So there are 2 goals for the designated teacher. The D teacher has got 2 goals. 1, transit the parents. Then, number 2, transit the child. Basically, D teacher, you have got 2 jobs. Transit the parents, transit the child. The reason why I say transit the parents first and then transit the child, because parents are first priority. Know that when the parents send their children to us, they are placing their baby, they are placing their precious on strangers to care for their children. Not just trust is needed there, not just trusting you, but behind them carries a sense of guilt. You know how guilty they feel sending their precious to somewhere they don't know, and they don't know whether people would take care of them or not. It's a sense of guilt. I've seen parents coming in and feeling bad, when they have to leave their children. Alright, so what we want to do, and our goal is for them to get to know you. Get to know you, the D teacher. We need to change your status from stranger to teacher. I know this teacher. I don't know this stranger. So we need to change that status. So show them you care. Ask them about their jobs. Ask about their work. Distance from the house. How's the traffic here? How do you feel about sending your child? And listen. Alright? Share with them your experiences working here at StartRight. Your experiences with children. Your first interactions with them is so important. Because if they can feel comfortable around you, they can trust you, they know that they can trust the children in your care. So the idea is that if the teacher can care for me, the adult, I'm sure they will care for my children. And therefore, you need to take every step that you can to make sure the adults feel safe. Once they trust you, the guilt lessens. They probably think, oh, my children is actually better off with them than off with me. They're better with you. Then whatever you say next time, they're going to believe you. They're going to trust you when you ask them to partner with you and do things. Bam! Easy peasy, because the trust is there. Alright, so take your first initiative to go and get to know the parents and let them get to know you as well. The next thing I want to say is the responsibility of the teacher is also to report to parents through Brightwheel. Even if there are no pictures, when they just came and then they leave, if there's no pictures, we want to message them on Brightwheel frequently. They need to be well informed of their child's well-being at all times. So, if the parents are coming to you and asking you, do you have a photo? Do you have a video? Can you show me the CCTV? And asking so many questions, chances are they are not feeling very safe yet. Alright, so you need to do your part to keep them safe. Let's apply this new rule. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60 minutes rule. Once they leave their child at StartRight, let's send an update on the first 10 minutes. Hey, your child, he is still crying, but asking for you, but we're going to try to calm him down. So be on standby. 30 minutes update. Hey, just want to update you that the child is doing so much better. He's mingling with his friends right now, and he just gave me a hug, for example. And then at the 60 minutes, you text them, and then you through Brightwheel, and then say, he's doing great, but once in a while he's crying and asking for you, so maybe you can come pick him in the next 30 minutes. But so far, I think there's progress, you know. So when you text this type of messages to parents and you update them before they ask you, oh my goodness, they are going to trust you, and they know that you are professional and you are responsible. All right, so share with them before they ask you. That is being professional. All right, share with them your observations on Bright Wheel and whatever success stories that you have on that day. So we share to them through Bright Wheel, and then when we see them face to face, hey, you know, they did so great. Tomorrow we're gonna expect a little bit more crying or less crying. You share with them your observations, and these observations come when you are more familiar with it. Practice makes progress. All right, so that's transiting the parents. Now we talk about transiting the child. Transiting the child it's important, and you act as a secondary mother to the child. You are their second mother. You want to be their grandmother also can, but I think they already have that. So maybe just, you know, when the parents are at work, you are going to be their mother. Making sure that they feel love when their parents are away. You want them to think, I want my mommy, but this person also looks quite interesting. This person also quite nice actually. So I can, you know, learn from this person. She looks quite sweet, quite caring. So I don't know everybody here, but my teacher here is nice. So I'm okay with going to school. This teacher is nice to me, you know. So observe the child's likes and dislikes, observe their habits, and set up strategies to help the child transit better. You know, for example, if you see the child always in the house area, you know, doing the cooking, then set up an activity tomorrow and say, hey, tomorrow we're going to bake cakes, okay? Or bake cookies. Or we're going to play sensory play in the house area. Set up balloon activities if they like. So it helps the child lighten up a little bit and look forward to something. Things like messy play is also super fun. All right, because the child will love it. But some children will be sensitive to messy play because a lot of sensory stimulation and they may not be used to it. All right, so use your judgment and create all these fun activities so that they can forget their parents easily. That's our secret. Let them forget their parents, and then they have so much fun. It's time to go home. They don't want to go home. And that's our motto. That's what we want StartRight to be. A fun, a happy place that they don't want to go home. And that means we've done our job. Okay? So, for infants, babies, between 6 months to 24 months old, that means about 6 months old to 2 years old, transition takes place 1-to-1. And you need to be at the door every time they arrive and every time they depart for at least maybe 2 weeks until they really get used to the school. But generally, it's a really 1-to-1 relationship. This child should also be in the designated teacher's small group, okay, for at least 3 months until they are ready to join another group. So until you see them really settling down, they can start taking instructions, then you know they are ready to join another group. But this relationship, you know, it's about 3 months, depending on the child. All right? Generally, for infant and toddlers, it takes time to transit. You want to copy whatever their parents are doing at home, how they feed, how they put them to sleep. Everyone puts their children to sleep differently. Most of them like this and like that, or like this. You want to copy that. How they feed their babies, whether they feed how high, how low. Some of them just hold the bottle and then like this, or they really shake them, which is, I don't agree with them as well. But what we want to do is we want to bring their home settings into the center so that they feel, hey, actually there's not much difference. All right, so don't change any of their habits just yet because they are not settled down yet. The stress level on the child is still high. All right, so until you see them adapting well to the center, then only you start changing from carrying them to sleep to maybe just tapping them. And when this trust and relationship is established between you and the child, you can do anything. Trust is so important. You have trust, the child trusts you, they can do everything you say. That's the beauty of trust. All right, so So you copy as much as you can what they do at home, do it at school. That makes transition easier for them. When they are ready, you can slowly change from from whatever habits they have to what habits you want them to have. There are 3 stages of transition. How do we know whether the child is transited or not? First stage. I call this bonding stage. The first stage means that the teacher have to bond and be their best friends first. Once they know they're in a safe environment, then stage 2 comes. They will explore. They will explore the shelves, explore the rooms, explore the bathroom, and most importantly, they learn to explore new food and new nap places, new bathrooms. All these things are private things, okay? The thing that you put into your mouth, you remove your clothes and go into the bathroom, all these things are private things. So when you have that bond with the child, then they're willing to try new things and to explore. Alright, so stage 1, bond. Stage 2, explore. And the stage 3 will be, they will participate in the activities. Participating in activities is the last stage because they can, if they participate, means that they have adapted to the routine. But if they are still shy and they are staying at the corner, playing on their own, then maybe they are still at the exploring stage. They're not ready to participate. So don't force them to participate yet. Just keep talking to them and invite them to play in your space. Alright, so they're still in the exploring stage. So I generally don't expect children to participate for lunch and toileting activities at the beginning because, like I said, eating and changing, these are all private things. You're going into their personal space here for the first few days. So let them observe. The next thing we want to talk about is how to transit children. On the real day they're going to come. So generally, transiting children take about a week in most cases. But if kids who are more sensitive and more having trusting issues, kids who are not so confident in themselves, maybe you take 2 weeks. The maximum that I had encountered was transiting a 15-month-old toddler, and it took 2 weeks, and that's with a lot of mom waiting outside the room, and she's taking a book to read outside while we transit the kid inside. And whenever the kid cry, we open the door, and then the child sees the mother there, and then he can go back into the room to play. So that took about 2 weeks. So sometimes it's all about being sensitive to what the children need and helping them be comfortable. And if you need to take time, it has to take time because some things cannot be rushed. Okay? So when we meet the parents and we want to prepare them for transition days, the first thing we're going to ask them to do is we need them to prepare. Alright? So we're going to ask the parents to when we want to ask parents to come, we want them to come with the kid when the kid is already full. That means they're already well fed. They have their breakfast or their tea, depending on what time they come to during the day. We also want them to be well slept. That means we want them to have good sleep so they are not tired, not hungry when they come. And of course, their diapers, if they're still wearing diapers, we want it to be clean as well. So there's no cleaning, no eating, no drinking in our center on the first few days. Remember that. Alright, so if a parent comes to you and asks you to feed their child, change their diapers, we're going to say, we're not going to do that yet because he or she may not be ready for that. And that is invading personal space. Like, would you go to a stranger's house and then you take off your clothes there because it's in front of everybody because you're going to shower? Or you want other people to feed you directly, you don't even know them? Of course not. Alright, all these things take time, and when trust is built, everything's going to be smooth. So, on day 1, let's just call this day 1. Day 1 is actually very important. So, on day 1, we invite parents and child to come in on this day. We're going to help the child to adapt to the environment. And remember, they adapt to the environment first. So, we want them to explore with their parents being in the center. That means the child can see their parents, and they can play around their parents and among other strangers as well. And like I said before, you want to keep the stress level low. Okay, so we don't encourage children coming to the center on the first day all by themselves because, hey, going to a place all by yourself alone can be really scary, right? So same thing for the children. And we don't want to start in a stressful start. Okay? So I want to emphasize on the word stress and their stress level, because if they're always stressed out, they will take a longer time to transit. They will also not be very happy, and it will cause separation anxiety. So we do everything we can to make the child comfortable in an environment in the first few days so that they reduce the separation anxiety. So when they are in the center, we want to make sure that there is a designated teacher, the D teacher. And this D teacher is ready to meet the family. Now, this is where stage 1 begins, bonding. The best time to come to the center is about 10 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 4:30 in the evening when the kids are ready to play and then go home, or they are ready to do the activities in the morning. Generally, we want them to come at a time where all the children have got specific things to do, either choice time, and also they have been already settled down. So it's no more teacher peak hours where, your hands need to be busy at that hour. We don't want to ask them to come during that time. So no coming at 8 o'clock in the morning or be below 9 o'clock, before 9 o'clock, because, or 9:30, it's just busy. Okay? And when they come on the first day, we don't have to have them participate. We just want them to come and watch or play nearby. Okay, no pressure to join. We just want them to get to know the environment. So they only stay for 1.5 hours. Then they leave and go home. We want to make their first day short and sweet so that the next day they want to come back for more. Like, oh man, yesterday I played with this and then I'm actually not done. I want to go back there again, So don't keep the kids staying for too long. We want them to go home after 1.5 hours. I know you really like this place. Let's come back the next day. You get them all excited up. Okay? So whether or not the parent wants to stay, the child wants to stay, you go like, nope. You come back tomorrow. And next day is going to help them to separate better from the parents, because they already have an idea what the environment is going to be like, and so they will be able to expect or predict what's going to happen in the center, so it's not like a shocker anymore. All right, so on this day 1, we are not going to have them eat. Okay, they don't eat lunch, they don't eat breakfast or dinner. We don't want them to bathe, we don't want them to change in our center. We ask them to come full fed, well slept, and diapers changed. Well, if they make a boo-boo in their diaper, they pee or they poop, we're going to ask the parents to be involved just for this 1-2 days, because, like I said again, we're not going to ask strangers change my diapers, okay? Okay, we're not going to get diapers changed by strangers. When the parents going to ask you to change their kid, you say, can you take off your pants for me right now? Let me change you. And see what they say. Alright, but generally they will be okay after you explain to them why we don't do certain things we do. And it's full of logic, right? I mean, come on. I'm not going to go in front of you, ask you to take out my pants because you want to change my diapers. I'm like, I don't know you, and hello. Even if I know you, I won't get you to do that, okay? Because we're adults. Self-consciousness is already built into our system. Anyway, we want them to come ready to mingle. On the first day, if they are there in the environment, they want to eat lunch, ask them. They can watch first, and I say maybe tomorrow we can give you some food to eat, and let's try tomorrow, because that's where the kid is ready to explore. So day 1, bond. Day 2, explore. Okay. So what we want the children to do when they come in is that I want them to think, this place is so fun. My parents are not here. It's okay. I can have fun by myself. This, teachers, they love me a lot. I know that they care. And gosh, this place is so cool. This place is so happening. I want to come back again the next day. So that's what we want children to go home thinking about that. If they are not ready to think like that yet, then probably we need to restart day 1. If they are still crying, if they are still clingy, then we have to restart day 1 again the next day because the kid's not ready. All right. So on the day when they come in on day 1, as a D teacher, you want to observe how close the child is sitting with the parents or playing around the parents. So if you are the D teacher of the day, you need to stay near the family and the child. You don't have to stand so close to the family and the child, but you want to be in the same area, about maybe an arm's length away from them. An arm's length away from them. But if the kid come to you, that is a good sign that the kid has already starting to create a bond with you. Okay, so do not take the child away from the parents. This is a big no-no. Don't take the baby, don't take the toddler, don't take the child away from the parents and come, and then you take them away. Do not do that because you will be the bad guy. You will be the person taking them away from the parents and you will be bad guy. And that's not the impression you want to make to the child. Alright, so you want to lure them to you. You want the child to come them to you. So what you do is you have a set of your own toys. You can say, hey, I've got something you want to show. And if they don't want to come to you, then you push the toy nearer to them. Then they will explore among their parents. And later when you start nodding your head, smile, you don't have to talk so much. Actually, just go, wow, I can see you building your toy. Or you play with ball, yay. Just being friendly. They will slowly lose everything and come to you. That's what we want. Alright, when they can do that, that is the first step of them being able to transit. Alright, so you want them to leave the parents, and that is the first step of courage and initiative on the child's part. When the child initiates, he is going to finish doing what he wants to do. Okay, so what you want to do is just to create opportunities for them to come to the toy or come to you, and you want to observe if they can leave their parents a little bit further. Okay, if they still are really close to the parents and not willing to let go yet, then we most likely need to repeat day 1 again. Okay, so here's the general rule. For infants, 6 months and toddlers 6 to 24 months is actually the hardest age to transit, like I shared before. And if they are 6 months old, they are not able to crawl, then what you can do is that you ask the parents to sit in the middle of the room together with their babies. Put them down so that the babies is in the middle of the room and able to look all her surroundings or his surroundings. Okay, so sit in the center of the room or somewhere central where all the activities can be seen and touched within their reach. When you see the infant and toddlers starting to reach out, crawling, walking and running away from their parents, what you want them to do is that ask them to go further and further away, and so that to let the child and toddler play around while they can still see the parents at eye view. Okay, so they don't have to be super close, but at least they can still see their parents at the door but further and further away, and they can still continue playing, and that's a good sign. You observe the child if the child is looking for the parents or whether they carry on playing. If they can carry on playing, then we know the child's ready to go day 2. But if they are not, carrying on playing yet, they still occasionally keep looking, then we know the child may not be ready. And then we repeat day 1 again, or maybe extend the time a little bit. Okay? Some crying is normal. If the parents leave the room and the child crying is normal. Okay? But if the child cries too long, and he cannot be distracted by all the other efforts that you try and do. Look at the car. Oh, wow, look at what he's doing. Oh, wow, look at the ball. See, I tried the ball. Oh, look at the balloon. If you try everything and he still keep crying, then we know he's not ready. He needs to go day 1 again. Alright, but let's say if the child is able to stop and he can still direct his focus, play a short while, and then maybe he goes around looking again, and then he can stop crying and then go back to playing, then we know he's actually okay. Just need to trust the little teacher more, and the teacher needs to make sure the child feels safe. Later mommy will come take you home. So that's what you want to say, and then you say, oh, maybe we can do other things first. Let's play bubbles or whatever it is to distract. Okay? What you want to help them is to get something so exciting so that they can forget the parents. Alright? So before they leave on day 1, you can get the parents to test. Go outside the room and then say, maybe before 15 minutes before they leave, and go like, let's see whether he's okay, cry or not, and see whether we can manage him or not. Okay? So day 1 can take a few days for different children. This is like super important. Super important. Generally, you want to see the children leave the parents to explore. You want them to explore the environment. You want them to explore the toys. So step by step, we want the children to move from sitting closely with the parents to moving away, and being able to let go of their parents even when their parents are present. The most important thing is, do not let parents sneak away. Don't let them hide away. Alright? Because that is going to get the child to lose trust. Stop trusting their parents. When the parent is going to walk away, we want the parent to tell the child, Mommy's going outside, I'll be coming back. You want the parents to say, Mommy's going outside, I will be coming back. I love you. Mwah. See you later. And then go. Alright? If the child can play when the parents are further from them, they are ready to move to day 2, then we can go day 2 and come back tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Or they have to repeat day 1 again with their parents being here for 1.5 hours. Alright? So don't let their parents sneak away. Alright? Tell them that they're going outside, or whatever reasons they want to create. Keep it short, keep it sweet, and then leave. We also need to train the parents to keep their goodbye routine short and sweet and leave. Okay? Day 2. Day 2 begins when the child is ready to explore. Now, they are ready with their parents being further away from the child. So what we want to do is that we want to test the child today on day 2, and to observe if the child is ready to say bye-bye and to separate from their parents, and how long they can separate. So on this day 2, we have the parents come in to the center, maybe for the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then later, we want them to tell the child, hey, Mommy is going to go out. I want to go buy something and I'll be back. I'll come back to pick you up later, okay? So we're going to keep their separation short. And this time the parents is away. We want the parents to say, I'll be back. Do not let the parents sneak away quietly. Okay? So the child will feel abandoned. Like, I thought I saw you. Why you leave and disappear, right? So tell the parents to be on standby if the child keeps crying. So that means they are nearby. And the crying, if they say the crying cannot be distracted, like what I mentioned just now. So some children need time to cry, and it's okay to cry. Completely normal to cry. It's a real emotion. So they need time to cry. They need to grieve about their parents leaving, but also give them time to come back. Alright, so as the teacher, what you want to do is to acknowledge their feelings. Acknowledge their emotions. Say, I know you miss your daddy. Your daddy says he's coming back, and I know he'll come back. Let's play something else first. Something along those baby lines, okay? If they are babies, of course, you say later mommy will come. Oh, let's play with the ball. Okay? I know you miss your mommy. You're sad because you miss your mommy, alright? So always deal with their emotions first. And then once you say their emotions, they feel like, okay, they have been acknowledged. You understand me, okay? So when the parents have left and they go out to do their own thing, we direct the child to come back to do some activities. As a day teacher, you want to take some pictures. You want to get to know them. You play with them. Sometimes you have to have a separate activity with them if they're not ready to join a group yet. So what we want to do is to update the parents on Bright Wheel. The Bright Wheel. Remember our 10, 30, and 60 rule? So the first 10 minutes, you want to update the parents. The next 30 minutes, then you update again. 60 minutes, you update again. Alright, this is so that you update the parents before the parents starts wondering. And then the parents will trust you better. So remember the 10, 30, 60 rule. And if the child is in explorative mode, that means the child's really exploring, really having fun, today we can offer him lunch. Hey, would you like to try some of our lunch? We have spaghetti, we have chicken noodle soup or whatever it is. And then give them in small amounts. And when they finish, tomorrow we're going to have more food, okay? So give them in small amounts. You don't want them to give them too much and feel too full. You want them wanting more. Like fine dining. Fine dining is like the plate so big, the food so small. And you want to eat more, okay? Because actually when the food is on smaller amount, the appetite can also increase. When you give in such big amounts, the appetite kind of reduces and like, wow, I see you so I full. Okay? So, if the child keeps crying, then we most likely have to repeat day 1 or day 2 again. And then a combination of being separated with the parents or parents being the center as well. Okay? So, it's both. So what we want to do is to have the child practice coming to school and going home. Coming to school and going home. Some children will take time to adapt. And what we want to do is to slowly extend the hours of separation. And sometimes if the child keeps crying, then we're going to tell the parent, let's come back again at 4 o'clock in the evening, 4:30 in the evening, and then we're going to play again. And asking them to come back in the evening. So be sensitive and be flexible. Okay, so you need to use your judgment and sensitivity to the kids and to know what they really need in order to transit. So I can tell you these steps, but there are a lot of times you really need to use a bit of your child development knowledge and sometimes just reading the child's body language and reading the child's emotions and to meet him where he is. All right, day 3. Day 3 begins when the child has passed day 2. When the child is not crying so much anymore, can control themselves, can separate from the parents, bye-bye, at least can cry and say bye-bye. Then they stay for half a day, joining in for breakfast, the activities and lunch. And if they are full day kids, what you want to do is to let them watch the children nap. Not to nap at the whole time, watch them nap the whole time, but maybe the first 10 minutes how they actually drink their milk, lay their mats out, and to get ready to go nap. So they watch, but the child's going to go home. Alright, so they're going to go home after their lunch to nap. Infant and toddlers should be very tired after that stimulating morning. So we want them to go home and nap. Alright. Day 4. At day 4, child stays in the center for a full day. But maybe you can ask the parents, hey, maybe you pick them up at 4:30, not too long. Okay, napping at the center for the first time and separating for longer hours, it's quite stressful for the kid if you ask me. So you as a D teacher, what you want to do is to stay with them more during the afternoon and you tell them before they go to sleep for a nap and to say, maybe, you touch their head a bit. Later when you wake up, we're going to play something fun, okay? We're going to play bubbles when you wake up. Go and rest first and then for a short while, we're going to play already. So what we want to do is to get them ready to nap and relax. Alright? So these transition days can vary from child to child. It depends on the personality, the adaptability, attachment styles, and temperament. So it's really up to the discretion of the teacher, and it's up to your sensitivity to judge the child. The key is to be sensitive to their needs and help them to feel as comfortable as possible. That's what I'm just trying to tell you throughout the whole video. And keep being positive around the parents and around the kids. Alright, if you see a particular problem with the child, you don't have to mention to the parents yet. That's our goal and our responsibility to come up with strategies and goal to help the child. We want to encourage the parents to have a goodbye routine. So maybe this is what you can do to tell the parents, just hug, kiss, say I'll be back, leave and come back. Alright, well, that's all the transition stages and steps for the teacher. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You know where to find me. Alright, everybody? Thank you so much. Bye.